What is the worst advice you've ever received? Kick it to see if there are any more bees inside. There were plenty of bees still inside. Worked, didn't it? Task failed successfully. A guy who was stalking me sent flowers to my workplace. I hadn't told him where I worked. A coworker of mine said that was such a sweet gesture and I should break up with my long-term boyfriend and date this guy instead. Two birds, one stone. Set up coworker with stalker on a blind date. Set up competition for promotion. No need to go to the doctor, it's just a little rash. It was Lyme's, and I nearly died. It bothers me how Americans need to make sure they absolutely need to see a doctor before they go and look for medical help. It must suck that you can't just pop into the ER to check your weird rash just to be safe. I really hope your healthcare gets better in the future. Also, I mean no offense, nor am I crapping on your country. I just wished everybody had the reassurance that they'll get the help they need without having to sell your firstborn. Technically you shouldn't just pop into a ER because should be reserved for emergency only, but we should feel comfortable in popping into a GP office just to ask medical questions. On leaving a 40 hours a week consultancy job with 21 days annual leave to go to a 37 hours a week client side job with 28 days holiday and with a pay rise, the boss said to me, "You don't make your career on your days off." To right, mate, but what I will do is look after my young family and mental well-being. You got fewer hours, more holiday time, and a raise. How did he expect saying that would make you stay? Likely is one of those people that's obsessed with hustle and the idea that being a workaholic is the only way to find self-worth. Knew a guy who made 6 figures with arbitrage, but would literally work 14 hours a day 6 days a week, and then a half day on Sunday. Would call everyone lazy and missing opportunity. Be more careful this time. When I was pregnant after a miscarriage, I was told it was probably a sign that I shouldn't have kids by my mother. A big to anyone who thinks it's appropriate to comment on a miscarriage as if it's anything other than bad luck. 1 out of 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage. Plenty of women don't even know when they lose a pregnancy. They assume it's a heavy period. I'm sorry your mom said that to you. I really think though that you will be a better mom in spite of her. I was 19, thinking about maybe going to college or getting a job in finance. My friend's mum said no, don't do that. You know where the real money is? Shops. Working in shops. Shops. Like, just any brick and mortar store? She specified Asda, British Walmart. Smile in your mugshot, because it's a picture that's gonna be out there forever. This can and will be used against you in a court of law. Prosecution. Exhibit A, the defendant's mugshot. This person is smiling. Does this look like the face of someone who is sorry? Someone who is remorseful? No. They are smiling despite the fact that they could have injured someone or worse. That is why we are seeking the maximum penalty. To show them that this is not something to be smiling about. Good to see a fellow attorney Tom subscriber. I also noticed that. Go on and get married. What's the worst thing that can happen? You are overreacting. They will change. Oh no 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 no. I can't imagine how bad it may have gone. That's a life decision. Damn it. No. The worst is that my life is ruined. And precious time is wasted. Thank you not so very much. Former mother-in-law. If you love him harder he won't hit you. Frig her. Edited to at, whoa, thanks for the awards. I feel like that would have the adverse effect. What you don't know won't hurt you. I didn't know about 3 guys 1 hammer, and I was doing fine. Watched it and it still hurts, so I disagree with that. The only saving grace of this video is that it's so low quality you can't see crap and only kind of guess what's going on. The funky town is way worse emo. When I have a problem with someone my wife just tells me to shoot them and be done with it. If only. It's not that simple. You have to get rid of the body, clean up the mess, find an alibi. So much to do. Some people are only alive because it is illegal to kill them. Don't break up with him. You're perfect together. Spoiler alert, we weren't. Yes, you're so perfect together, you want to leave him. Makes perfect sense. My ex-coworker advised me to have a baby because I was suffering so badly from my depression. She said this would cure my bad mood. Yeah, nothing cures depression like a case of postpartum depression. My first thought after hearing my co-worker's advice. A few years ago one of my best friends moved into a larger city with her new boyfriend. She was severely depressed for a long time already. Shortly after moving she quit her job and got pregnant. She thought this would be the ticket out of her misery, but she got hit with severe postpartum depression instead. I'd rather be mentally stable before thinking about being responsible for a child for the next 18 years. My father once told me when I was in my teens, don't ever try anything new because you might fail. That's like the opposite of what good parents are supposed to say. He had recently went out and tried a career change and failed. Reminds me of an old Homer Simpson quote, you tried and failed. The lesson here is to never try. Seriously though, how are you ever gonna learn anything if you never try? Definition: some crappy advice. After my wife passed, a man told me that divorce is worse. Not advice but something similar to this. My brother and his fiancée were expecting twins and they were stillborn. A family friend told my brother multiple times at the funeral this is all part of God's plan and everything happens for a reason. I don't think there is a more tactless thing you can say after someone loses a child. When my wife died, a guy I didn't know at the funeral said your son is going to grow up and wonder why he doesn't have a mum. Yeah, thanks guy. Stick to sorry for your loss. Check out Reddit. I got a similar one. Hey, check this app. It's called Twitter. Okay, let's be honest. Everyone loves to hate Twitter. When I was an aspiring educator, I received a lot of scary advice about how school teachers should run a classroom from people who were well intended but were completely out of touch. The most memorable was from a woman who had been a special education teacher for years, and her nugget of wisdom was to never say sorry to a student and never admit you're wrong. My philosophy as a teacher could never be more opposite. Same. I teach 12th grade modern history. I always start out the year with look, this class covers 500 years. I don't know everything. I have certain areas I specialize in, but others I know barely anything beyond what we cover in class. Some of you probably know more about certain areas than me. If I make a mistake or want to add some detail, go for it and raise your hand. I'm happy to learn things. Just don't be offended if I look it up. Crap, doctors look everything up. Would any of us prefer that they not do that? I wouldn't. I would much rather that they stay abreast of what might be killing me than just go yeah got the pox. Gonna have to take your arm. Hold still, I've been doing this since 73 and I've only lost a couple of them in the process. Just ignore the bully. He'll get bored. I wish my parents told me, frick that kid up. You're 16. Slap on the wrist. My parents always told me I will not get punished at home if I was sticking up for myself or others. Pretty blessed there. Essentially the same. I was told to never start anything and they will always have my back if it was in self-defense. I got suspended once for defending myself against 3 dudes who were harassing me in the bathroom. I made it through okay, but was pretty roughed up. My dad took me out to my favorite place to eat to make me feel better. Since it was in self-defense, my parents were on my side against the principal and I never got punished at home. My brother did give me some bad advice though. He said to try and run away sooner next time. Like, dude, don't you think I tried? 1v3 is never good odds. I got away as soon as I could. Don't say anything to him. You don't want to start a fight / upset him. Thanks mom. Glad I finally said something to that loser. It can be a major hit or miss asking women from older generations for dating advice. I'm learning this to be true the older I get, and I'm a man with a, fortunately, great mother. Squad leader strongly urged me to break up with LDR girlfriend while in military. That girlfriend has been my wife for over 16 years now, and I love her more each day. To be fair, considering how most LDR military relationships turn out, his advice wasn't bad. You just got lucky. I think giving generalized advice without knowing the specifics is bad advice regardless of how it turns out. Artistic source. So you're feeling lost in life. Have a baby. How is that meant to improve anything? Good reply though, that is crappy advice. Because you won't have time or energy to think about how you're feeling lost in life. work through the pain. It will make your back feel better. It didn't. Anybody that tells you to fight through the pain when dealing with a back problem is a freaking psychopath or simply doesn't understand how pain works. While I agree, it does depend on the cause of the pain. A damaged disc. Nope, no pity, nope. I ruptured a disc in my 20s, and it is no joke. Thankfully I got surgery and became 100% pain free. In my 30s I started getting muscle cramps in my back. Instinctively I tried to protect it, so I MD go lay down. One muscle group would clench hard and I'd be nearly bedridden for up to a week. Then I had one start when I was away from home and had no choice but to keep moving. It eased up within a few hours and was only a bit sore the next day. Since then I've learned to go to work or for a long walk. I guess the takeaway here is to go see a medical professional and find out what you need to do. There are always others who has it worse than you. Yes, Sherlock, but that doesn't make the thing that suck magically go away. And there are people who have it better than me, so I guess we are back to where we started. Susan. I just love how you ended that with Susan lol. If somebody's mean to you, it's because they like you. Can people please stop telling kids this? I used to believe it too. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's true, but most of the time it's not. Especially above the age of 7 lol. Agreed. Also, what the hell is the kid supposed to do? Enjoy being bullied? Relationship advice from my mum. She's manipulating you. My hella wasted mum, to me, about my wife, in front of my wife. Spoiler, she isn't. Spoiler 2, mum didn't remember saying it. She meant to say I'm manipulating you, but mixed it up because she was wasted. Remembers me of my boyfriend's mother. 2 months ago I visited him for 3 weeks. We're in a long distance relationship. He knows his mother can be exhausting and unfair and has some psychological issues, so he doesn't want me to be alone with her. He also wants to treat me well and help me out wherever he can. So whenever I was in the kitchen for more than 5 minutes, with or without his mother, he came into the kitchen as well. Usually in the mornings, when I didn't have online lectures he would let me sleep in, and went to the kitchen to play on his Nintendo Switch. They don't really have a living room, because he knows that I'm sensitive to noises and wake up easily. On those days his mother often sat down with him in the kitchen, and talked to him, until I finally woke up. One day she apparently told him she had the impression that I'd be making sure he would never be alone with her, and she felt upset she didn't have any time anymore to talk to him alone, which obviously wasn't the case, and even brought up the idea that I might be jealous of her. Live above your means. It motivates you to do better. No. Had a sales manager basically say this. Honestly don't remember how the conversation got there, but was told we need to get you some debt so that you will stay motivated. I preferred to live below my means, so I could tell him to frick off whenever I pleased. Golden handcuffs. Pretty common encouragement to young bankers and lawyers. Buy an expensive house, so you're dependent on the big money. Don't move abroad, you'll hate living in Germany then. Once I was already in Germany. Don't move to Bavaria, you will not like south of Germany etc. Anyways, they were wrong. Glad I didn't follow their advice. Anytime it comes up about moving, I always think I can always go home if it doesn't work out, and it has worked so far. Come on, stop complaining and swallow it. No mom, I'm allergic to freaking soy. If I swallow it I'll probably die. Not gonna lie, you had me in the first half. This guy gets it. Went to the GP with my 10mo son who had been struggling with a cold for a while and wasn't improving. She told me to rub Vicks on his throat because it is absorbed through the skin and to make him vomit to bring up phlegm. Later that day he was admitted to hospital with bronchiolitis. I refused to see her for any reason until recently, when I didn't have a choice, and she gave me the same crappy advice for a sinus infection I'd had for 3 weeks. If your doctor says Vicks vapor rub for everything, you need a new doctor. It's like the father from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Windex. But you know, with a medical degree. I didn't want kids either, until I got accidentally pregnant, and then suddenly felt all maternal, implying I should just give it a go. Oh, you know, having kids is relatively low risk and barely changes a thing. Lol, right. The world's worst acid reflux, food aversions, puking for months. then sleepless nights, sore nipples, stitches, I could go on. But it doesn't matter, BC, you'll love the kid you never wanted in the first place. My sister had 3 because she keeps thinking babies will fix her relationships. She doesn't like kids. Says she loves hers, but she doesn't really. My mom convinced her that this is how life is. I don't understand why people think this way or give this advice. Yuck. Don't accept a plumbing apprenticeship. Go to university. My plumber makes double what I do. Germany has a lot of problems with stuff like that. Craft workers are currently lacking because everyone went to university or made a bitter or something to get a well-paying office job. But in the end the plumber still has the safest and most stable paid job. I also used to want an office job. Now I want everything but that. Grass is always greener on the other side, I guess. My knees hurt and all I want is to sit at a desk. Stay happy. While I was in depression, I told my sister I had anxiety and intrusive thoughts. Just stop thinking about that stuff. Gee, thanks. Hey Jude. Fully beaten generalized anxiety disorder over here. She's wrong. Not just in terms of opinion, but factually. Here's a mind binder. We really can't control our thoughts. We can control some of our thoughts. These are called rational thought or conscious ideation. But most of our thoughts arise from brain activity. We have zero control over them coming up. Just like emotion. What we do have control over is the beliefs that cause them to arise and how we choose to react to them consciously. The anxiety I experienced came from a lot of attachments to reality not being what I wanted it to be, and me believing I could change it if I just did the right things, if other people did the right things, or if the world was just better. The reality is the only thing we have control over in the long term is our beliefs and the way we choose to react to things. Get scared? Laugh at yourself, unless the fear was deadly. Get angry? Laugh at yourself, and then if you did anything foolish, just own it. Feel guilty? Confront the guilt, and take action to make yourself feel like you put in the effort to make up for it, and accept you can't change how anyone else feels, etc. So yeah, you don't just stop thinking about that stuff. You start thinking about it differently. Try to think of happier things when you hallucinate. Yeah, let me just think of a unicorn. I can totally control schizophrenia. That'll help me not see the blurry faceless man following me in the hallway. Maybe I won't be so paranoid. That how that works, right? Happy away the illness. Oh, you're trying to lose weight. Just imagine that broccoli tastes like french fries. God, if only. I always choose taste when people ask what sense I want to lose. But food is so amazing. Yeah, but if it all tasted like nothing, I'd eat only healthy things because who cares? Be the bigger person, bish. I'm 11 getting bullied by a teacher because I have anxiety. Tell that to her, not me. Edit. Thank you for all the advice, but I'm no longer 11 lol. So this teacher is just a crappy memory. I'm so sorry for all of you who have been in a similar position. It really sucks. My dad was constantly telling me to be the bigger person because my mother, his wife, was never going to change. I was 6 when he started telling me this. He was absolutely right, but he did frick all about it instead of addressing it with my mother. He still does this. Takes her side 100% of the time. My mom of her boyfriend, he's just trying to intimidate you. I was 9. You should let it pinch you. It won't hurt that much. It was the biggest crawdad I ever saw, and I was maybe like 10 fishing with my dad. He didn't think I would be stupid enough to do it, but I wanted to impress him. The chaos that then ensued, I picked it up and let it pinch the soft skin between my thumb and hand, promptly scream in pain. Dad, laughing his ass off, tried to help, just to be pinched by the other claw on the back of his hand. This cycle of continuous pinching continues as we stupidity try to help one another. Then finally we get it removed, and my dad says to body slam it, so I throw it as hard as I can back into the lake. The crawdad that beat up 2 humans. Epic. Hey Crawson, you'll never believe what just happened. There was this one time a very attractive girl from my hometown took an interest in me and started messaging me on Facebook. She was a smart, good person, beautiful girl that was always in long relationships, absolutely not getting around, the kind of girl you would love to take home to your parents, and who every guy wanted to be dating. Anyways, my idiot friend was watching me talk to her and was like, dude, you're doing it wrong. Let me take over, and completely submarined the conversation with a couple douchy, idiotic messages, and she stopped responding. And that was it. My chance with her was gone. I'll never forget his stupid face laughing about it like, haha, well, whatever dude. He didn't give you advice, he sabotaged you on purpose out of jealousy. You should act less smart so more guys talk to you. The Venn diagram of boys who don't like smart girls and boys you don't wanna date is a circle. John Green. Any dating advice from serial daters? Serial daters always seem to think they have the best advice due to their extensive experience, when in reality, unless your goal is also to serially date and never actually find a LTR, they only have a lot of experience because they continue to fail over and over again. I don't remember the context, but some guy was arguing that he had a much greater insight into women than other people because he'd dated more than 100 women. So if he's in his 30s and he's been dating seriously since he's 20, that's more than 5 girls a year, and rather than proving the guys is some sort of ultra chat that has super insight into women, it just proved that on average no woman is willing to put up with his crap for more than a month or two. Where is he even finding that many women? Listen to your elders. I get that with age comes wisdom, in most cases, but being older doesn't mean you always know better. As if idiots never grew old. Unfortunately, some of them do. If I had a band, this would be the name. Don't worry about taking student loans. You'll get a great job and can pay them off easy. Still $70k in debt with no end in sight. Combined with but I don't know what degree I want. It doesn't matter. Get any degree. No, literally every adult who gave me terrible advice as a teenager. It turns out that's not how the freaking economy works. It was how it worked when they were a teenager. Till they wrecked it for the rest of us. Don't join that karate school, because all the kids who were there longer than you will always be better than you, so there's no point in trying. It turned out that I was the only one that actually stayed. I'm probably better at it than all of them now, and even became an assistant teacher before I was 25. Plus now you can kick anyone that gives you bad advice. You have to be 100% certain before you make a choice. Me autistic knowing you can never be 100% certain of anything. Okay, who on earth gives that advice? No decision is 100% certain. My mother telling me not to eat pizza for my entire life because I was allergic to cheese. I didn't eat my first pizza until I was 20 after receiving my allergy test results which showed I wasn't allergic to cheese. Allergies can go away with time, but if you've got severe allergies you should probably be working with an allergist that whole time. Source: have kid who is allergic to dairy. Pizza is iffy. A lot of places put cheese or whey protein in their dough sauce. You can put your feet down now. I think the cat is outside. Was it like Jurassic Park? You slowly feel fur brush against your leg, a sweat slowly drops down your forehead, and you clench your eyes shut, waiting for the inevitable hissing noise and feeling of claws digging into your leg. Buckle up, cause things just get more difficult from here. If things get more difficult, I don't want to be alive anymore. I barely sleep, I'm working 50, 60-hour weeks with crap pay, my home life is awful, and slowly, all the things I've looked forward to in life have been taken from me. The only thing that keeps from driving into the ocean is my cat. When someone is clearly struggling with their life, don't freaking tell them it gets worse. I was given that advice a lot too when I was younger by my folks, when I lived with them. Life has only gotten better, ups and downs along the way, but better. Turns out it was my family who was making my life crappy. Who knew? My grandpa told me to put horse manure on my strawberries. I'm going back to whipped cream. I think he meant the plant, amigo. There's not such thing as a manure plant, pal. It's really simple. Just leave. Advice I got while in an extremely abusive relationship where he had all the money and control and used to threaten my family if I ever tried to leave. Glad you got out. That crap can take a lot of planning to make sure you're in less danger, so I hear. Thanks, I didn't actually plan anything. The neighbors called the police yet again and something in me just broke, and I admitted to them what had happened.